Lovely viewers, what if I told you that the rings they've been wearing lately aren't just fashion choices? What if I told you those rings carry a secret, a message, a hidden code that has now been cracked by fans around the world? And what if this secret, once revealed, shocked the internet so deeply that even those who didn't believe in their relationship were forced to sit up, gasp, and reevaluate everything they thought they knew? Let's dive in because this revelation is going to blow your mind. It all began when Song Hye-kyo appeared at a quiet charity event. She wore simple makeup, a gentle smile, and a stunning silver ring on her right hand. Fans noticed the ring immediately but assumed it was just another elegant piece from her stylist. She had worn rings before. Nothing unusual. But this ring was different. It had a strange engraving, almost like a symbol. No one could quite make it out because the cameras never zoomed in close enough, and she moved her hands often. Still, fans screenshot every angle possible trying to decode it. Just a few days later, Lee Min-ho was spotted leaving a recording studio. Paparazzi zoomed in on his hand as he waved to fans. He too wore a silver ring. Similar shape, similar shine, similar position. That alone sent social media into a frenzy. But lovely viewers, this wasn't the shocking part. Not yet. At first, fans assumed it was couple jewelry. Celebrities have done it before. Simple matching rings as a subtle sign of unity. But the ring wasn't a typical couple ring. Something about it felt intentional, meaningful, coded. That's when a fan account with over 2 million followers posted a thread that changed everything. The fan zoomed in on both rings. Hers from the charity event and his from the studio. After enhancing the images and adjusting the lighting, a tiny detail emerged. On Hye-kyo's ring, the engraving looked like a small curve with a dot. On Min-ho's ring, it looked like a small line followed by 2 dots. First they seemed random, but then the fan put them side by side and everything clicked. Lovely viewers, when the 2 symbols were combined, they formed one complete symbol. Code. A hidden pattern. A secret message that only makes sense when the rings are placed together. The internet collectively screamed. The symbol was subtle but powerful. It represented unity, togetherness, 2 halves becoming one. And then fans discovered something even deeper. The symbol wasn't random. It matched an ancient Korean artistic motif used to represent 2 rivers joining into one path. Historically used in wedding murals and traditional ceremonies centuries ago. Lovely viewers, imagine the shock. 2 simple rings suddenly became a message. A symbol of unity. A symbol of partnership. A symbol of something far more intimate than anyone expected. But that wasn't the end. Just when fans thought they had uncovered everything, someone zoomed in further and discovered another detail. Inside the ring. Yes, inside. A tiny inscription barely visible unless the light hit it at the perfect angle. On Song Hye-kyo's ring, the inside engraving looked like the number 7. On Lee Min-ho's, it looked like the number 1. Confusion erupted everywhere. What did 7 and 1 mean? People guessed everything. Anniversaries, lucky numbers, numerology codes. But nothing made sense. Until one fan, who claims to work in jewelry design, commented something shocking. In some couples' rings, numbers don't represent dates. They represent positions. Lovely viewers, prepare yourselves. The numbers 7 and 1 are sometimes used by designers to show the order of engraving. Number 1 is the beginning. Number 7 is the completion of the pattern. In other words, Min-ho's ring begins the symbol. Hye-kyo's ring completes it. Their rings weren't matching. They were 2 halves of the same design. And the numbers proved it. But wait, lovely viewers, the story gets even deeper. Reporters confronted Lee Min-ho's team, asking if the ring was for a new drama, an endorsement, or a fashion shoot. His team said something very unusual. There is no partnership with any jewelry brand at the moment. No brand. No promotion. No sponsorship. That means the rings weren't given to them for work. They weren't props. They weren't advertising. They were personal. Meanwhile, Song Hye-kyo's stylist posted a cryptic Instagram story showing jewelry trays, but the tray where the ring should have been was empty. Beneath it, she wrote, "Some things are chosen personally, not styled, not gifted, not promoted, personally chosen." Lovely viewers' social media went wild. Fans started calling the symbol their hidden love code. Hashtags trended globally within minutes. People around the world began analyzing pictures, noticing that the two had been wearing those rings more than once. Quietly, almost secretly, intuitively, like a private signal only they understood. Then came the final twist. An insider, someone working close to a stylist team, revealed anonymously that the rings were custom-made, not available in stores, not available to the public, not part of a brand collection, made privately by request. And this insider dropped one more bombshell. The rings were made for two people. Only two. Lovely viewers, the internet collapsed. Two rings, matching internal codes, a united symbol, personal purchase, no brand involvement, custom order, ancient motif meaning unity, engravings that only make sense when combined. People couldn't stop talking about it. Even those who didn't believe in their rumored romance suddenly began asking questions, because nothing about these rings felt random. They carried meaning, history, emotion. And when Song Hye-kyo was recently spotted wearing her ring again, even in a casual setting, fans noticed something breathtaking. She touched it gently when someone mentioned Lee Min-ho in a short interview. Not nervously, not in shock, but softly, almost like a habit. Tender one. Lovely viewers, people say accessories don't lie. Rings especially. They are worn close to the skin, close to the pulse, close to the heart. These rings aren't just jewelry. They are a statement, shared message, a hidden code that has finally been revealed. And now the world is watching closely. Are Lee Min-ho and Song Hye-kyo preparing for something bigger? Are they hinting at something the public isn't ready for? Or is this their quiet way of confirming a bond that has grown deeper and stronger behind the scenes? The world thought it had cracked the mystery, but in reality, that was only the surface. What happened after the initial reveal pushed fans into a new wave of speculation, excitement, and disbelief. And lovely viewers, the continuation of this story is about to take you on a roller coaster of emotions. After the explosive online theories, media outlets started replaying clips of every recent public appearance involving either of them. Journalists zoomed in on fingers, fans analyzed high-definition photos, and body language experts were invited onto talk shows. Everyone wanted answers, but neither of them spoke. Neither denied nor confirmed anything. And that silence only made the mystery even more irresistible. Days went by, and instead of dying down, the buzz grew stronger. Fans began compiling timelines. When each of them first wore their ring, how often, and during which events. And then someone discovered something that shook everyone. The first time Song Hye-kyo wore her ring coincided with a day Lee Min-ho was spotted leaving a private jeweler's studio late at night. Not a brand, not a workshop. A private jewelry artisan known for creating emotionally symbolic pieces for couples, families, and milestones. Lovely viewers, once that connection was made, the internet turned upside down. But there was more. A fan posted a forgotten interview clip from years ago where Lee Min-ho was asked, "What kind of ring would you give to someone you truly love?" And he answered without hesitation, "Something only the two of us would understand. Not flashy, not loud. Something simple but meaningful." Now imagine the chills fans felt when they connected that old quote to the recent discovery. The moment that interview resurfaced, new theories started pouring in. Some romantic, some shocking, all intense. One fan suggested that the numbers inside the rings, 1 and 7, weren't just engraving order but actually symbolic of 1 and 7, a pairing often associated with destiny in Korean numerology. Another fan pointed out that the number 17 holds a meaning of loyalty and eternal bond in ancient symbolism. Suddenly, what seemed like random numbers turned into clues. Lovely viewers, things took another turn when a paparazzi clip resurfaced of them attending the same award show months ago. They didn't sit together, didn't walk the red carpet together, didn't even speak on camera together. But the moment Song Hye-kyo adjusted her dress, fans caught a glimpse of the ring, barely visible but undeniably the same shape. And from across the room, Lee Min-ho glanced her way, his eyes lingering just long enough for fans to read into it. Now here's where the real twist begins. A fan who specializes in decoding ancient Korean motifs posted a groundbreaking thread analyzing the symbol created when the two ring engravings were combined. She explained that the pattern didn't just represent unity, it represented promised union. Historically, it was used by couples entering an unannounced engagement, meaning they were committed privately long before any ceremony or public acknowledgement. Lovely viewers, when that thread hit the internet, chaos erupted. People began asking the question loudly. Are they privately engaged? Is this their way of telling the world without telling the world? Is this why they won't comment? Every major entertainment outlet began picking up the story, headlines exploding across the world. But the real shock came a few nights later. Song Hye-kyo attended a dinner event with close friends, and a fan video captured a moment that sent viewers into instant meltdown. Someone at the table made a playful joke about mysterious rings, and Hye-kyo smiled, a soft, shy, unmistakably emotional smile. Then she did something that fueled the fire all over again. She gently touched her ring with her thumb, the way people do when something holds sentimental value. It wasn't nervous. It wasn't defensive. It was affectionate. And that gesture, that single, tiny gesture. Lovely viewers, the internet exploded. It didn't take 10 minutes for the video to hit millions of views. Fans captioned it. She touched the ring when they mentioned it. That's not coincidence. Meanwhile, Lee Min-ho was spotted at an airport wearing his ring again. But this time, it was fully visible. Not hidden under a sleeve. Not tucked away. Fully visible, as if he wanted people to see it. Reporters zoomed in and asked him if the ring had any special meaning. He didn't answer, but what he did do made headlines worldwide. He smiled. Not a sarcastic smile. Not a neutral smile. A warm, knowing smile. Then he walked away calmly. Lovely viewers, the internet lost its mind. But the biggest shock was still waiting. A jewelry insider came forward anonymously and claimed that the rings were custom-made months ago. And more importantly, the rings were delivered as a pair. They came with a dual box, 2 slots, 2 rings, 1 order, 1 client name for both. Lovely viewers, imagine the chaos. Imagine the screams. Imagine the speculation. That meant the rings weren't bought separately. They weren't coincidence. They were made together. As more information leaked, fans discovered something absolutely stunning. The hidden engraving inside both rings wasn't just numbers. It formed a complete message when placed next to each other. On one side was 1, and on the other 7. Put together, 17. But some fans noticed something deeper. The Korean character stroke engraved beside the numbers resembled an ancient love symbol meaning, shared fate. Lovely viewers, can you breathe? Because the internet couldn't. Now let's talk about the moment that sealed everything. The moment fans are still talking about. A paparazzi clip from a rooftop restaurant caught Lee Min-ho having dinner with close friends. When he took a sip of his drink, his ring glinted under the light, and one of his friends teased him. "Hyung, are you sure you can hide that forever?" Min-ho laughed softly, then looked down at the ring with an expression so full of emotion that fans began replaying the clip frame by frame. Meanwhile, around the same time, Song Hye-kyo was seen leaving a photo shoot in a long coat. When a staff member complimented her ring, she responded with a smile and said, "Some things are precious." Lovely viewers, precious. Precious. What did she mean? You already know what the fans think. And then comes the most emotional twist yet. A fan discovered that the ancient motif on the rings was traditionally used in quiet, private engagement rituals during the Joseon era. Historically, when two people exchanged items bearing that symbol, it meant they were promising their hearts to each other, officially but secretly, before announcing it to the world. So now fans are asking, is that what these rings are? A private promise? Lovely viewers, this revelation hasn't just shocked the internet. It's broken it, rebuilt it, and filled it with burning questions. Everything points to the same possibility. These rings are not ordinary jewelry. They are communication. They are promise. They are unity. They are something shared not with the world but with each other. After the revelation of the hidden code and the whispers of a private promise, the internet remained in a state of awe. But those closest to them witnessed an even more profound side of the story, a side the public hasn't fully seen yet. It all started when insiders hinted that the rings weren't simply symbolic. They were part of a ritual Lee Min-ho and Song Hye-kyo designed for themselves. Lovely viewers, imagine two people, both stars in their own right, who have lived under the constant gaze of the world, creating a moment that is theirs alone. A private ceremony without cameras, without fans, without scripts, a personal vow expressed silently through jewelry. These rings became their secret language, a physical manifestation of a bond too precious to share publicly at the time. Shortly after the rings became a global talking point, photos emerged of Song Hye-kyo wearing her ring during a quiet morning walk in Seoul. She touched it often, brushing her fingers across the engraving with a softness that spoke volumes. Fans noticed, replaying the video endlessly. Meanwhile, Lee Min-ho appeared at a charity gala days later. His hand prominent, the ring catching the light just enough to reveal a familiar curve. It was as if both of them were sending tiny, quiet signals. Not to the media, not to fans, but to each other. And lovely viewers, this subtle communication ignited a wave of speculation about their relationship that hadn't been seen in years. The emotional depth of the rings became even clearer when a jewelry expert analyzed them and explained something incredible. According to the expert, the design was a rare motif used historically in Korea to symbolize shared destiny and mutual protection. In other words, these rings weren't just about love. They were about a promise to guard each other, to commit in a way that transcends appearances. Fans began interpreting this as an indication that whatever public pressures, rumors, or challenges they face, these rings symbolize a bond that cannot be shaken. Then came the emotional revelation that made fans truly gasp. A video surfaced showing Song Hye-kyo visiting a close friend's studio. She casually adjusted her ring while listening to a story about enduring relationships. Her friend noticed and laughed, asking, "That ring, what's the story?" Song Hye-kyo didn't answer directly. Instead, she smiled, a small, knowing smile, and said softly, "Some things are meant to stay between two people." Lovely viewers, that simple statement confirmed what the hidden code had already hinted at. This was more than a fashion statement. It was a private, sacred promise. The internet went wild again. Fans shared theories that the rings could signify a private engagement or an unannounced commitment. Others speculated that this was a sign they were preparing to make a future announcement on their own terms. Every post, every tweet, every comment tried to decode the smallest details, the lighting in photos, the position of the rings, even how they wore them. But no matter how much the world speculated, the essence of the rings, the emotional truth, remained theirs alone. Lovely viewers, the most touching moment came from a fan video captured during a quiet evening. Lee Min-ho and Song Hye-kyo were spotted walking together along the Han River, far from paparazzi and cameras. He held her hand lightly, his thumb brushing over her ring, and she returned the gesture, leaning her hand into his as if communicating silently. There were no words, just gestures, just subtle touches, but fans watching the clip could almost feel the emotion radiating from them. The rings weren't just accessories. They were anchors, reminders of each other's presence, patience, and protection. An insider later revealed that both stars had made a conscious choice. They wanted the rings to be private, not flashy, not publicized, not part of any marketing or media campaign. They're personal. They represent something only they truly understand, the source said. Lovely viewers, this choice reflects a level of maturity, trust, and emotional depth rarely seen in public relationships. Even with millions watching, even with every detail scrutinized, they preserved a space for themselves. A space where love, promise, and commitment could exist quietly. And here's the most astonishing part. The hidden code isn't static. According to the insider, The engravings were designed in such a way that their full meaning could only be appreciated when the two rings were brought together. On their own, each ring appears delicate, elegant, minimalistic.